Good damn morning, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again, and make sure that you are on jerichogreen.net at the conclusion of this video. And protect yourself with the best tactical flashlight on the market. Get it here, fighterflare.com. Use promo code Jericho20 for 20% off. Now, violent crimes are leaving towns across the U.S. on edge. In the heart of tourism in Hawaii, Honolulu, for example, police are investigating a string of recent crimes, including knife attacks, armed robberies, and more. Some residents are even changing their routines to avoid going out at night. It's becoming well known now that violent crime has increased over the past year in the U.S., but some towns fear that the trend isn't slowing down. This is why I highly recommend the Fighter Flare flashlight this holiday season. There's plenty of self-defense options to choose from, but none can do what the Fighter Flare does, which is to create a massive, ultra-bright light that blinds attackers from a distance. The Fighter Flare is a professional-grade tactical, super bright tactical flashlight. Most importantly, it's highly recommended by military, law enforcement, and emergency professionals. It also comes with a built-in compass, wire cutter, glass-breaking hammer, and lighter. Makes it the ultimate all-in-one tool. I partnered with the creators of Fighter Flare flashlight to give my audience 20% off their own Fighter Flare flashlight during the holidays. Go to fighterflare.com or click the link below to get yours. Now, you may or may not be familiar with college sports, but you have these rivalries. Usually it's the university of whatever versus whatever state. For example, University of Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State. University of Oregon versus Oregon State. I believe it's Stanford versus Cal. So when you have these in-state rivalries, they play once a year and they usually have some kind of a trophy. I know one of them, it's an axe or whatever. In Oregon, it's a beaver tail or some shit. But whoever wins the game for that year, they get the trophy, they get the bragging rights. So I'm thinking we need to do the same thing with California and New York, because they are competing for the two stupidest states we have in the union. And I believe when your stupidity is this high, you need to have something to show for it. So I don't know if the trophy needs to be like an emaciated drug addict taking a shit in front of a small business. Maybe it can be a bronze trophy of Mayor London Breed. She's the mayor of San Fran shithole. I mean, Needles and Shit, California. I mean, the shitty city by the bay. I mean, San Francisco. It could be a trophy with her in a nightclub going against her own mandates, or maybe it could be a trophy of Mayor de Blasio going to jog in his favorite park during lockdown. I don't know. The possibilities are endless. But we need to have something for these two to go back and forth with, because I've said many a time, and I stick by it, even in the face of what I'm about to tell you. But I do believe that California will not be out-stupided, but damn is New York nipping at their Birkenstock heels. Because starting December 27th, all employees of private businesses inside of the borders within the realm of New York City, you have to have the poke by then. Now, I didn't read anywhere. I'm sure there'll be some kind of fines or you'll lose your job, something terrible. But I didn't see where the consequences were. But they did say that by December 27th, that's just a few weeks from now, you better have that poke. You better be somewhere with that sleeve rolled up, getting a needle full of whatever this shit is in your arm. You got 3 weeks. And if that's not bad enough, don't worry, kids. We hate to leave the kids out. All kids over the age of 5, if you want to go out and eat somewhere with their family and friends, you want to go to a venue, you want to go to a Wiggles concert or some shit, you got to have the poke too. That's right, kids. You will not be left out. Gone are the days of this is for adults and this is for kids, or maybe this is for adults, but it's too much for the kids. No, everything's for you. Starting next week, you want to go out with your family to a restaurant or go somewhere indoors, you better get that poke too, you little turd. But New York said, now, we know Mayor de Blasio and his weird-ass Adams family of a family are going to be out of there at the end of the year because I think it was Eric Andrews. He's going to be the new mayor of New York City starting January 1st, 2022. Now, maybe he's going to undo all this bullshit. Maybe he's going to undo all this anti-police bullshit rhetoric. Maybe he's going to undo these bullshit mandates saying that if you are an employee of a private company, you have to get the poke by the 27th. Never mind how hard you've worked at this job, how you may have ascended up the ladder, and how no matter how much you may have climbed the ranks, made a name for yourself, or you love your job, you enjoy your coworkers, it can potentially be taken away if you don't get this poke in your arm by the 27th of December. So you got choices to make, New York. You got to decide, do you want to get this or do you want to keep your job? And that's fucked up because in a perfect world, or in a normal world, actually not even perfect, just normal, if you wanted to leave your job, that's a decision that you should make on your own. You should not be forced to make a decision on whether or not you want to keep your job, find a new job, leave the area. That's not a good feeling, but they don't give a shit. It's about compliance and control. And I hope, New York, for your sake, I hope that the new mayor that comes in, and I mentioned before in other videos that his cabinet, his transition team is a little suspect. You got people in his transition team that want to give local and state voting rights to illegals. It's just local and state. It's not the presidential election. It's just the elections that affect your life the most. So he has some shady folks in his cabinet, in his transition team. I hope that maybe he gets rid of them. I hope that maybe he doesn't listen to them. But I also hope that he undoes a lot of this bullshit because he's supposed to be pro-law enforcement. I'm not sure whether or not he was a former police officer. He may or may not have been. But he's definitely pro-police. He's definitely against defunding the police. So I hope that happens. I hope that this mandate, when it goes into effect on the 27th, you got 4 days to live under it before your new mayor comes in. And hopefully he will pull a Biden and on his first day, undo that. I hope. If not, it's going to be interesting to see how many people are going to take this shit to keep their job. And I'm not even shitting on the people who are doing that because you're forced into this situation. Your employer is going to come to you in the coming days and say, if you want to stay here, unless they're willing to pay the fines. And how is that? So if they charge, because the whole federal one, luckily that has a hold on it, the federal mandate. But how is it that if an employer doesn't want to have their employees take the poke, you're going to fine them? Okay, you fine them and get the money. Now what? Where does that money go? What good was it to fine those people, but they're still not getting the poke? So obviously it's not about that. It's about the money. When are we going to wake up to that? When are we going to have enough of this bullshit? Do we need to be Australia? Do we need to get to that point? I hope not. I think we're still supposed to be the beacon of what's right in this world. But come December 27th, private employees of private businesses in New York, I guess the word private doesn't mean what it used to. You will have to get the poke or you will be without a job. Ain't that some shit? 2021, right? We're supposed to be all advanced. We're supposed to be all progressive and inclusive, and we're above that, and that's old stuff, you know, the way they used to do things. No. We're beyond that now. We're 2021. This is new. No, it's not. 2021 don't mean shit. And then, let's say, all right, everybody gets the poke. What comes after the poke? You got it. the booster. And I'm not talking about the seats that little kids sit in. Remember what Biden, this perverted, said? Our grandpa in chief, hey, this isn't the mall. He said, even if you are a fully vaccinated booster person, you're still going to need more boosters. This is only the beginning, people. Fully vaccinated booster person is what our president said in front of the world. New York, good luck. I don't know what you guys are going to do, but I'm interested to see what the new mayor is going to do come January 1st when he takes office. Will he undo that bullshit? I sure hope so. But you know, violent crimes, they are leaving towns across the U.S. on edge. In Honolulu, Hawaii, for example, police are investigating a string of recent crimes, including knife attacks, armed robberies, and more. It's becoming well known now that violent crime has increased over the past year in the U.S., but some towns fear that the trend isn't slowing down. This is why I highly recommend the Fighter Flare flashlight this holiday season. The Fighter Flare is a professional-grade, tactical, super bright tactical flashlight. It's designed to help stop attackers from a distance and ultra-bright strobe light. Most importantly, it is highly recommended by military, law enforcement, and emergency professionals. You can also get it 20% off using promo code Jericho20. Now, you know what I'm about to do. I'm about to get in here with my beautiful wife and kids. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Get your ass over to JerichoGreen.net. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.